Today we visit Bon Jellico camping mining area in Kentucky. Now, the community of Bon Jellico was located on 1,500 acres along Briar Creek, about 2 miles west of Williamsburg, Kentucky. Now, Bon Jellico Coal Company started mining coal in 1912, but it ultimately closed down in 1937. Early in 1911, Maynard King, who lived down the road from this mine, was brought in as a construction worker. Now he was hired on to build the railroad by hand and use mule scrapers going up the Bond Hill. Now, during the 25 years that the mine was open, some 350 different men and their families worked at Bond Hill and lived there at the camp or nearby. The little mining town on Briar Creek affected some 3,000 lives. Now, a powerhouse that was allowed to make electricity for the mines was built between 1912 and 1914, and this was only used for the mines, but not for the houses, the school, or the store nearby. Before the powerhouse was in operation, the company used small mules to pull the little 1-ton mine cars in and out of the mines. Now, during the normal business time hours, about 125 men would work at Bond. Usually, the number of 40-ton to 50-ton railroad cars loaded was 6 to 10 cars per day. Now, that would average about 500 tons. But during World War I, up to about 175 men would work at one time. But during the war, the mines operated 10 to 14 hours per day and loaded as many as 17 cars each day. Each man who loaded coal into the little cars in the mines had a number to match his name. So to make sure the men at the weigh station and the tipple knew who loaded that particular car, he would hang his number on a nail on the inside left corner of the car. And mining at the Jellico seam of coal was not without its problems. The seam of coal was only 24 to 40 inches thick, so miners were always standing on their knees or sitting on to load the coal in the small cars. Of course, at this time, money was very scarce. An average day's pay for 8 hours was anywhere from $2.50 to $3.60. Bond paid their employees only on the 15th of each month. But if you ran short of cash, you could sign a paper slip and get some cash on the 30th of the day. Because there were only 75 houses in the nearby camp, and this camp would rent out small houses for $4 per month. And for larger ones, rent was $6 per month. And of course, in 1912, a company store called a commissionary was built. The company began to use their own currency called script, and simply meant that you were set up with a charge count in the office. And of course, there was another grocery store nearby, which is operated and owned by Mr. L.B. Stanford. But this store was only set up for cash or credit, but would not accept any of the Bond Jellico script. And because of the size of this little community working this mine, there was a two-room school that was built between 1912, that was operated between 1912 and 1926. And there was a three-room school built in 1927. Of course, at the time of the mine being ran, there were a total of 160 students. So each teacher that was working there had their hands full. And of course, we see that by this road leading up to the coal mine, it's evidently been completely abandoned and shut down. But just from a few minutes from here is Williamsburg, Kentucky. Of course, it's got its modern day shops and stores and restaurants. And it's still bustling because of this town being established in the time frame that it has been.